Alrighty, guys, welcome back to Titanic Greed. We are recording episode 4, and we have George back, co-hosting. He's back from his vacation, as
What's
well
up, everybody?
as well as a special guest on today. So, George, would you like to introduce yourself and then our guest?
Yeah, what's up? I'm George. I'm the co-host of the Titanic Greed podcast. I know Reed from the Utah Magic scene, and I love Amulet Titan.
And we have on our guest, who managed to pull off a 12-4, is that correct? 12-4 record at
Yeah,
RC
12-4.
at RC Calgary, who I know as Nitro Rick, but if you look on these standings here, it's Best Smurg NA. If you want to be referred to as something else, let us know.
No, Rick is fine.
Rick is fine. All right.
Yeah.
We've got Rick.
Welcome, Rick.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Glad to be here. Yeah, I've been playing Magic since Scourge, 2003. I was very young, started at summer camp, and I've been playing kind of off and on since then. I really got into the competitive scene just at the start of COVID. I had a modern deck before then, but I wasn't really playing a ton. And then COVID started. I started trying to go to RCs after they resumed again. Played a GP pre-COVID, and then have been kind of grinding modern and standard since then. And I also enjoy Amulet Titan quite a bit.
And then you have a top 4 finish in a 400, I think it's like 400 person tournament at RC Calgary.
Yeah, it's my best result on paper so far, for sure.
That is fantastic. And for context, Rick and I and Alice all sort of work together as a group, just sort of DMing each other. I initially had Rick in my stream chat as I was streaming, and he'd be all nitpicky with me, so I was annoyed with him. But then my subconscious realized that he was a very good player, so I was like, all right, let's discuss how to best build this deck list with Rick and with Alice. So we came up
a lot of sequencing things with Titan, so being nitpicky isn't always the worst thing.
Exactly. And we really worked together quite a bit and all registered pretty similar lists. The main feature, of course, being main decks, I should say. The sideboards are pretty different, but main deck wise, very, very similar with the 2 stock ups in the main. Tell us a little bit about the build up, the deck list building, how that stuff went.
Yeah, so I was pretty locked on about 55 cards or so in the main deck, which is basically how all Titan lists are these days. The things leading up to it, the decisions were mostly how many Green Suns did we want to play? Did we want to play Dryad Arbor? And then how many stock ups did we want to play? And I definitely flip-flopped a lot between them on do we want the Green Sun plan? Do we want the more Explore Rumble plan? Do we want to play the stock up plan? And then I played a couple events in locals and a couple leagues and was just very impressed with stock up's ability to grind. As well as just kind of turn a mana advantage into a protected win or Scape Shift plus something else. And settled on playing a 2 stock ups main. The Dryad Arbor is a consideration towards the stock up, so you get to do that kind of the 1 mana into 3 mana play more reliably. And the more I played the Dryad Arbor, it honestly was good in a lot more matchups than I expected it to be. I kept expecting it to be a thorn in my side. It would just kind of show up and not do anything, but it was an annoying blocker. Getting it off Titan on single amulet lines to block a creature on the swingback was very relevant. It doesn't get prismatic ending, which is really nice. It stonewalls Ragavan sometimes. Just using Green Sun Zenith for 0 as a removal spell for Ragavan is pretty fine. So yeah, kind of where I ended up on the list. And the sideboard was very up and down, and I think I would have made some more changes if I had another 2 days to prep for the event, to be honest.
Yeah.
But very happy with where it ended up overall.
I guess I'll just ask right away, what would you change about the sideboard? Because the sideboard is the most different thing about the list between our lists, of course.
Yeah, so in retrospect, I think 2 copies of Fire Spout was wrong. and I think I should have been playing one Fire Spout and one Fire Magic, or one Fire Spout and one Vampire's Vengeance. The games that I lost to Boros were very much on the back of Orm's Chant, and having an instant speed board wipe to kind of blow them out when they chant you on your upkeep would have come up quite a bit. Apart from that, I probably would have trimmed down to one Lithomantic Barrage. You rarely wanted to see the second one. And with the stock ups, you can dig for it pretty reliably. And if your opponent has an Ashiok and they minus and they hit the barrage, you just shrug and say, oh, well, I'll just do the other plan of just casting.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think 4 stock up was a bit overkill, and 3 would have been very good.
Did you feel like the sweepers were did you play against a lot of like Boros or Prowess or wherever you're using the sweepers?
I played against Prowess twice in the event, I believe, and Boros 4 times.
Okay, wow. Yeah,
Double
so the
check.
Fire Spouts seem like they were a good meta call. Were you bringing the Lithomantic barrages against Boros as well?
I was bringing them against Boros. They were able to kill, I think I killed a total of like 1 Ragavan and 3 Ajanis. It was mostly there for Ajani. But I think in the future versus a good player, I would bring in Dismember instead of Barrage.
Okay.
And that mostly just comes down to being able to answer Voice of Victory on your own upkeep.
I see.
Which we'll get into a bit later. The semifinals match that I lost was because a Barrage wasn't a Dismember.
So touching on the main deck once again, anything you felt like was off or that you might want to change there with of course the knowledge we had leading up to the RC. We won't get into, Badger Mole stuff or any of that for a while, but anything in the main that you were feeling?
I don't think so. I think I'm pretty happy with this main deck as is. The only thing I'd maybe want to try is like fit in second analyst in some matchups, but I do think the stock up fulfills a similar role while being more versatile overall. So I'm pretty happy with this main deck. If I was going to go play an event tomorrow, I'd probably register this exact 60 main and a couple tweaks in the site.
George, you got any questions on the deck list?
No, I think you hit some of the good points. Like the 4 stock up is a little bit overkill on paper. You can maybe cut a Fire Spout for Fire Magic, which is better against Affinity and their little drones.
So let's get right into the event and the matches, and just sort of hang out for the ride with you and listen to how it went.
Yeah. Do you want like the full like each match, and I'll go through them one at a time?
Yeah, let's go through it. Yeah, feel free to just go. It's story time.
Yeah, sure. So get to the event, feeling pretty good. I tested the most against Jeskai because I went with a team of 6 and 3 of us had brought Jeskai. So most of my testing games were versus Jeskai on paper. So I was very set up for the matchup. Sit down, round 1 opponent is playing Jeskai. 2 of them very quickly. They could never get anything going. Just comboed them on like turn 3, game 1, and then game 2 was just like stock up into find stock up, get shape, escape shift, and then kill them in like the turn after. Round 2 was against another Jeskai player, so I'm sitting here feeling fucking fantastic. Very similarly, I'm looking at my life pad, and there's not more than like 2 life changes per game, and then the game's ended. Just they couldn't find anything. I think he slammed an Asha game 2, and then I went Barrage Shift.
And you just naturally had the Barrage there?
I kept the Barrage in the opening.
Dang, that's gnarly.
And they just did not have anything. Round 3 was versus the Mirror. Did end up losing this one, even though I won the die roll, which I was pretty unhappy about. Game 1, I was just a turn faster, pretty straightforward. Game 2, he was just a turn faster, also pretty straightforward. And then game 3, I kept a little bit of a sketchy hand that had like double Vestige, Lotus Field, Amulet, Shift, Titan, Grazer, I think.
That's a weird one.
ended up setting it up so that I had 2 mana in play, an amulet in play, the Grazer in hand, and a Lotus Field. And I just could not find another land.
Yeah.
And I ended up losing to him, top decking second amulet into Titan. So that was unfortunate. I did feel like I was the more experienced player there, so it felt pretty bad to lose the mirror to someone that is not
Less
who didn't have
experienced
as many
player always
reps.
wins the mirror. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, the mirror's a little bit of a crapshoot.
Yeah, because I kept asking. He was like, "I have the loop," and I'm like, "Can you please walk me through it?" Because he hadn't noticed he didn't have delirium. And like it wasn't hard for him to get delirium, but he kept trying to do it, and I kept saying, "Please show me the loop." And then he sits there for a few minutes, looking a bit flustered, and then says, "Oh, I don't have delirium," and then sacks his vexing bauble and gets his delirium.
I see.
But feeling a little dejected after that one, but it was still fine. The way that this round ended up is the way that this event was chalked up is I believe X and 3 was locked for top 8, assuming there was no
Lock for
weird
top
breakers.
8, X3? How many rounds
If
was
there was
it?
no, it was 14 rounds.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's because it was one fewer round, and we were like half the people or less than the US one, so you didn't need as good a match record.
I think you guys were less than a third almost. It was like,
Oh yeah, because you guys were like 1,200, right?
no, it's 1,400. So it's like
Oh geez.
3.5 times larger.
Yeah. So we did the math, and you could X and 3 in, assuming you had good breakers, and assuming no one did any weird, like there was no weird splits, stuff like that, or like weird unintentional draws.
Mhm.
So as far as an event goes, it was pretty forgiving for losses. Round 4 was versus Affinity. He had a really interesting game 1 where he has turn 1 gets all 7 cards out of his hand without a land.
Okay.
It was like Opal, Crypt, um, Bauble, play Emissary, play second Opal, play second Emissary, play second Crypt or something.
Hmm.
And then I just make 3 Titans and attack, and that was fine. Game 2, he ends up taking with a fast Kappa and a board of Crypt, Spellbomb, and Pithing Needle, which was pretty hard to get through.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. When
then,
they have the hate lock, it's just difficult.
yeah, he did name the wrong thing off Pithing Needle, so I did have an opportunity to go for it because he named Analyst, which I noticed
Oh,
quite a couple Affinity players were doing that for the event, which is just wrong. Like, just name Beseju if you have another piece.
yep.
And then I take him in a fast game 3 where he just has a little bit of a slow start.
Do you like stock up in the affinity matchup?
I was trimming to 1, so I was
Trimming to
playing 1
1.
in the main.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't bringing in more, but I was keeping 1 because you get the random game where they have like not the fast opener, but they have 3 hate pieces, and then you just bury them in cards.
What about Scape Shift? I've heard differing opinions on that one.
If they have more than 1 Ashiok in the sideboard, I board some out. Or if
Right.
they have like 3 Force Negations or something. I believe this list was on 1 Force Negation and 1 Ashiok, so I ended up keeping all 3 shift.
Yes.
I could double check and see what the list was playing because we have that information available to us. So that I trimmed down to one shift because he has 2 Force and 2 Ashiok.
Okay.
But Lithomantic Barrage killed 2 Kappas that round,
Dang.
which was pretty
Wow.
nice.
And
I
they just
didn't
didn't
expect
have
it
like
to.
another artifact to play after the casting of the.
No, it was like their
Wow.
last artifact both times.
That's awesome.
I kept
Yeah,
expecting
Litho's
to
pretty
hold it.
sketchy against Capo.
It is, yeah. But they had 2 Ashiok, so I'm bringing in for Ashiok, and then
Yeah,
if it hits
for
a
sure.
Kappa, it hits a Kappa.
Mm-hmm.
Round 5, I'm on the draw against Storm, which is
Not a great
Kind
place
of
to
a
morale
be.
death
is
sentence.
ruined. My morale is broken.
Yep.
He takes game 1 after losing, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 Ral flips
Wow.
and still getting there. Game 2, he's not able to piece it together very quickly. He has kind of like a turn 2 Ren's Resolve, turn 3 Ren's Resolve type hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just dies.
Not
And then
bad.
game 3, we have this super, super close setup where he has a ruby, I have a dismember. He starts going off, he's a little bit short, passes the turn, starts going off next turn after I get Titan with a single amulet. Plays the Ral, casts a spell to try to flip the Ral. I dismember in response. This was like after a couple spells. So even if he casts another spell on top of this trigger and flips the Ral, it only goes to 7, not 8.
Smart. Yeah.
So dismember on the Ral, he casts the second spell, flips the Ral on 7. And then I have double Bog. So Cave for Bog. And then Cave for Bog, and then Deeps in play as a Cave. So I'm able to go Bog on this turn, Bog on the next turn.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes up 1 short on his Grape Shot after I
Oh my goodness.
shocked myself.
That's crazy.
So he has Storm 14, cast Grape Shot. I go to 1, and then I untap and kill him.
That's so crazy to still be able to do 14 off of, like, through double Bog. I mean, Ruby's crazy
double
sometimes.
Bog and, like, missing your Ral flip. It was pretty nuts.
Yeah, I've played a lot of Ruby, and sometimes you don't even need Past in Flames if your hits are good enough.
Yeah, thankfully his hits were not good enough. I definitely got a bit lucky to win that game, but it was very well played on both sides. And I had a spot where they have a pretty stacked graveyard. They have a Ruby in play, like 5 or 6 mana floating, I think.
Mm-hmm.
2 cards in hand, and then they cast Wish as one of their 2 cards in hand. And I had this exact same situation come up for me online in like 3 different games. And I let the Wish resolve online, and then their last card in hand was Past in Flames. And I bog them, and they get Untimely Malfunction to redirect the bog from the sideboard.
Wow. Uh-huh.
So with this fresh in my head, I bog in response to the Wish. His last card is not Past in Flames, and he almost kills me that turn because I didn't wait. So kind of feels like a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
That's awesome. The untimely malfunction's really crazy.
Yeah, no.
That's
it's the
wild.
kind of thing you get blown out by once, and you're like, I'm gonna play around this every time, even if it's not correct to do so.
So that was what, round 4 or
It was
5?
round 5.
5, right.
5. So get there. So going into round 6 at 4-1. Round 6 is Esper Blink. I didn't expect to see a lot of Esper Blink on the day. I expected a lot more Jeskai. But I have play tested this matchup a lot. Because I have a couple of friends who are playing mostly Esper before Jeskai became popular. So pretty familiar with this matchup and how to play it. Game 1, he makes a couple mistakes that I catch. He wins the game, but based on these mistakes, I'm feeling pretty good about game 2. Like a big one is he had turn 2 Overlord into turn 3 Flicker Wisp. And he decided not to Flicker Wisp my bounce in play.
Oh my goodness. That's
which
so
would have
nice.
set me back to the absolute Stone Age. And instead he flickers his Overlord and grabs the Solitude.
It's got to be the bounce every time.
It's always the bounce, yeah. So even though I wasn't winning game 1, I felt pretty confident for game 2 and 3. Game 2 just have a absolutely disgusting curve out of like turn 1 Grazer, put in a bounce, turn 2 land, stock up. Turn 3 Spelunking before playing a land drop, and he goes Aven Interrupter the Spelunking.
Okay.
So I play a land and pass. Then he untaps. I think on 4 he played I think it was an Overlord and hold up 2 mana, picking up a Solitude. And then I go my turn 4, play the Spelunking for 2 mana from exile, and then stock up.
Double stock up. Did you have all 4?
Double stock up. I had all 4 in, and I played 3 of them before turn 4.
That's
and then
super
just
nice.
Untapped and went cast Titan, he Solitudes, okay, cast Titan, and then just go off from there. Just 8 cards in hand or something. Didn't matter.
Good gracious.
Game 3, just have a fast escape shift.
Yep.
He didn't have much that did anything about it.
You see that I think Nathan was saying he cuts escape shift in these blink matchups. Which I don't know. He's like, I can outgrind them with I still 6 tracker, all that. which has
You
not
definitely
been.
can.
You
But
can.
like the
It's
problem
not
is
been
the
my
lists
experience
with
though.
the problem I have is the lists that are playing like the 4 copies of March,
Yep.
and they just have like Solitude your guy, you play your next guy March, and then you're just kind of out of gas. And Scapeshift gives you this win that doesn't involve the board basically at all.
I know. My experience has always been I love Scapeshift in these blink matchups or against anything with Solitude. I just like
Yeah,
Scapeshift.
I really like it unless they're playing like 3 Ashiok, 2 Force Negation, in which case you kind of have to trim them.
That's fair.
But I still don't go to 0. Like I still think the card is very good there.
Mm-hmm.
Round 7's against Prowess. Good player. We have a nice little chat before. Game 1, I have a weird line where I have double Amulet in play, and I have Vestige in hand, and then Spelunking, Titan, Stock Up, and the second vestige in hand. So I play the Vestige as land for turn, and I have a choice of either playing Spelunking or Stock Up.
Okay.
And
What do you
my
usually
thinking
go
here
for?
is
What's
that,
your usual one that you pick?
I think normally I would go for the Stock Up and just guarantee a land drop for next turn and win with the next turn. The problem was he had an active bird, like a slick shot in play. And I was at like 16. And I got a little nervous that the bird was going to kill me next turn. So I tried to go for the highest upside play, which was play the Spelunking and draw a land. And then just win on the spot. Missed the land and lost the game in 2 turns because I didn't cast the Stock Up.
Yep. But you could have known, to
No,
risk either way.
Because he has like 5 cards in hand with 3 lands up, and if he just has a Violent Urge, I just die on the spot, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I would think you're gonna die next turn if you don't have a blocker there.
Seems like a good
I
assumption.
did not have a blocker. It was risky. It was tricky. Take the next 2 games with a bit of a grind. Game 2 is super weird. He has, by the end of the game, I'm at 13 life, and he's hit me with a slick shot like 8 times.
Okay.
Only cast a spell 1 time, and then I played a Spelunking and gained life. And he's just attacking for 1 with the slick shot and holding up interaction. And I end up like fire spouting a solitary slick shot. He has mutagenic growth. It's super weird back and forth. He's playing it very cautiously and very slowly, but that gives me enough time to just assemble a Titan and win.
Beautiful.
Game 3 is not close. I have like a turn 3 Scapeshift that pays for spell period.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Round 8 is versus Boros. Versus a Tim playing Boros. This is relevant because you'll see it's funny. I don't think he was a particularly good player. He played pretty well, but made a couple mistakes just in sequencing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
2-0 him pretty fast. No notes.
It's Boros.
It's Boros. Round 9 is versus Boros again on another player named Tim.
Okay.
So I've played back-to-back Boros energy on Tim.
Good old Canada, Tim Horton.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. He was much better, played very cleanly. Really enjoyable match, great guy. 2-0'd again. Just always came a little bit short.
Yep.
So end day 1 at 8-1. Feeling very good about day 2. 6th seed in the full event. And then go to bed early, get some rest, try to get to the breakfast spot we found on the Saturday, but they were closed on Sundays, so I just went to Starbucks and was a bit disappointed. At this point, I'm feeling a little nervous because the X and 1 bracket is fucking miserable. The other decks in X and 1 are Simic Ritual, 4-color Ritual, Storm, and then Boros and Affinity. So little bit of a matchup lottery for like round 1.
Yeah, either very well or very badly.
So round 1, I pair into Boros.
And this is your day 2, correct?
This is day 2. This is round 1 of day 2.
Yeah.
Feeling ecstatic to playing into Boros as opposed to Simic Ritual or that 4-color Accursed Pile with like main deck Elishnorn and Magmatic Hellkites and like 4 Solitude, 3 Subtlety.
Dang. Yeah, I play against that locals sometimes. It's miserable.
Yeah, it's not very fun.
Mhm.
This was versus Aiden. He was the player that I played in semifinals as well. Really good player. Like, you can always tell when a Boros player, like Boros is a deck with a pretty low floor, like a pretty high floor rather. But some players really just show you that there is a ceiling on this deck, and playing the deck properly does take a lot of skill. And he played it excellently. I lost in 3 really close games. I had lethal game 2, so I would have 2-0'd the match. But there was 6 minutes on the clock, and there was a judge telling me to play faster.
Yep.
And I could not find the line in time. And I posted the line for reference in the Amulet Discord, and someone found a line that wins 7 hours later.
Yeah. That one took a moment. I saw that one.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here like just trying to cobble something together, and I keep coming up one short. The judge is telling me to hurry up, and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I'll just pass turn and hope you don't have lethal off the top. And they did have lethal off
They
the
did.
top.
Yeah.
So they didn't need much. They had like 8 cats in play.
All right. And then how was your we were discussing round 1 of day 2. How was your round 2 of day 2?
Yeah, so round 2 of day 2, I get paired into the Simic Rit player who's there. At XN2 as well, feeling really bad about this. But, maybe the matchup's not as bad as I remember it. Update, the matchup is as bad as I remember it. I get O2'd very quickly. He drew like an absolute god. I have
Yep.
no notes on that. I don't think I could have won that matchup the way he drew in a million years. Game 1, he doesn't play a single ritual. Has like, I keep a decent hand with a stock up. He doesn't touch the stock up. Ends up flaring a Spelunking, subtletying a Titan, attacking for like 3 turns. I green stun for Analyst to try to get something going. He just ignores it. I know I'm going to lose when I have Analyst Grazer in play, and he has 2 1/1s with flying, and he dismembers my Grazer.
You know you're going to lose at that point.
Dang.
And then he just has natural endurance when I try to Analyst into another subtlety. And I just not feeling it. Game 1 does not go my way. Game 2, I keep as close to the nuts of a 7 as I can imagine. It's like Vestige, Amulet, Bounce Land, Grazer, Titan, Green Sun. So I'm feeling great. It's like a turn 2 with everything I could ever want. Maybe he stumbles. Maybe he doesn't have like a crazy fast opener or like a lot of early interaction, because the deck can have a hard time interacting with you early if they don't have a creature in play for Flare. I go turn 1 Amulet. He says Force Negation. Plays a land and goes. I go turn 2 Amulet. He says Consign. I go turn 3 land go. And then he has Fibblethip to draw a card. And then turn 4, I try to stock up. He has another Force of Negation. And then he untaps and slams Natural Harbinger into turn 4 Natural Harbinger.
You just can't do anything about that.
I just can't do anything. Every spell like
that's not a
countered.
game that there's any shame in losing.
I don't think I saw Birthing Ritual in either game.
Interesting.
Like, whatsoever. He just slammed his shit, and I just died.
Are you ever bringing in like a Boseiju for that for that
If
card?
you have one in the sideboard, I like bringing in the extra one.
Oh, but you don't have one
playing a
yet.
4th Boseiju.
Oh, and you
but I
don't have the
wouldn't bring
fungus
in-
either, yeah.
No, but I wouldn't bring in Force for this match.
Yeah.
This is probably the only matchup of the entire event that I regretted not having a 6 in my board, because it would have been really good in almost every game. Or a second Vexing Bubble.
That's fair. What about third Dismember? Is that?
It's okay.
Yeah.
The problem with Dismember is like
You have to
they have
choose
a lot
whether
of
to hit their
Harbingers.
enabler or their later stuff, like it's it's complicated.
And they're also playing like 3 Harbingers in the list. And if you dismember a Harbinger, chances are they can stop you for a turn and find another one.
Yep.
It is good, but it is not like the end all be all of the matchup. I don't know how to fix this matchup, honestly. It might
I've
just
heard
be one that we
Dosen's pretty
pick out.
good from Nathan.
Yeah, Dosen seems pretty good, but if you can get to a turn where you can play like, I don't know, Cavern on Dosen, play Dosen, and then they just subtlety it anyways. I don't know. Matchup was bad.
So at this
Yeah, I
point,
think
you lose, and is that X3 or is that X2?
Yes, I'm X3.
So how are you
if I lose
feeling
another
with
one,
like, oh, if I lose
definitely
another one,
out.
I'm not top 8?
Oh, I felt terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, this sucks. This is a really bad spot
How
to
could
be
I
in.
get so unlucky with this matchup?
yeah, I was in top 8 position just a little bit ago.
Yeah, like top of the breakers. And then round 12, I pair into 4-color Ritual,
Oh,
which I'm feeling really bad about.
yeah. I bet.
I had just watched him play against Eduardo on Simic Ritual and lose in a really close set. So he was definitely a decent player. Game 1, we have a really weird back and forth where he manages to land a Birthing Ritual and flip Magmatic Hellkite with Starfield Vocalist in play. His list was fucking bizarre.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Vocalist is nuts.
So kills 2 of my bounce lands. I go get double
Oh.
Forest. They come in untapped with a stun counter because of my Spelunking.
Yep.
And then I manage to go Titan into Scape Shift, kill him.
That's honestly.
But if he had flipped like
crazy.
slightly better, off the Ritual, I was just stone dead.
That's crazy that you win that game there. That's something
I'm not
else.
supposed to. If he has anything in hand afterwards, I lose. Like I lose to a single subtlety. I lose to like basically anything.
Right.
And then game 2, I just keep the Stone Nuts, the best hand I've had the entire weekend, and then drew the Turbo Nuts. So my 8 cards on my turn 1, because I'm on the draw, are Forest, Titan, Green Sun, Simic Growth Chamber, Stock Up, Amulet, Amulet, Amulet.
Wow.
Oh no, sorry, not a Stock Up. It's a Spelunking. It's even better.
So Amulet, Spelunking, Stock Up, Forest. Which bounce? Was it a Simic?
It was a Simic, yeah.
So just the 2 lands, or did you have one more?
I only had 2 lands.
Nice.
But I had triple Amulet.
Okay. And this is
So
a
I was
7.
able to go. This is a 7. Triple
Golly.
Amulet was the 8th card
That's beautiful.
because I'm on the draw.
Yep.
So I'm able to go turn 1, land Amulet. Turn 2, play Amulet, play Bounce, make 4. Pick up the Bounce, play 3rd Amulet, play Spelunking.
Mm-hmm.
Make 6, play Titan, and he subtleties it. And then I just untap and do it again, and he doesn't have it.
That's the way to do it. Turn.
That's
I'm just able to
beautiful.
get there.
Turn 2
before he's able to
interaction.
set me
Hit him
down.
on turn 3.
Yeah. So definitely got lucky that round. Matched into what I would consider to be a pretty bad matchup. Not as bad as Simic Rit, but still pretty bad. But like I'm looking at his list now, and it's like 4 Solitude, 3 Magmatic Hellkite, 3 Subtleties, Elish Norn, Mother of Machines main deck, 4 Leyline Bindings. Sideboard has 3 Force Negation, 3 Charmaws, another Elish Norn, and the 4th Subtlety.
Yeah, that matchup hinges on Vexing Bauble quite a bit from my experience.
Yeah, it's
Unless you just win super fast.
yeah. So I was able to win super fast and feeling very good about that. Next round, I got paired into Affinity, which I was very happy with. Demolish him. There's very little that he can do. I have a really good Force of Vigor game 2. He's never able to really go off. And then I can game 2. I can Scape Shift, paying for Rebuke to kill him.
Yeah.
And then
a
I'm in
lot
my
of scape
win it in
shifts through,
for-
Spell Pierce and Rebukes, it seems.
Yeah,
Like you make
in
sure to
spots
pay for
where,
these. I like it.
Yeah, in spots where like Titan is like a little short because they can just counter it, or Green Sun is a little short, and just being able to pay for the interaction piece is really, really good.
Yeah, that's sort of like an undervalued aspect of scape shift, is just having the extra to pay when you
Extra
have
mana.
both in hand. Like it's just.
Oh yeah, and also when you have a lot of lands in play, it's just the most powerful thing the deck can do.
Yep.
Like I had a line This was the other player that was playing Affinity that I said named Aftermath Analyst off the Pithing Needle. And game 1, he has a very prison style opener where he also has like a crypt, a Pithing Needle, a spell bomb, and then like a really, really slow Kappa. It's like turn 4 Kappa or turn 5 Kappa.
Mhm.
And at this point, I have like 7 lands in play. And then I shift, grab the Boseiju bounce, Lotus, the whole package, and then I just kill the crypt and go off. That was pretty nice. And then round 14 is the win it in. So everyone is talking about like who can draw, who can't draw. My breakers are abysmal at this point. I think worst breakers of the X and 3s.
Mm.
So I cannot draw in. I just have to play it and win it. There's a bunch of bad matchups in this bracket as well. I pair into prowess.
Not too shabby.
Play
Nice.
on the backup feature match and just annihilate him in 2 games. Like just crushed him. Game 2 had like a really I'm trying to play it really cleanly because there's something weird he does where he goes like bobble myself, fetch, surveil
Oh.
while keeping a mana open,
Yeah.
and put a card in the yard.
So like
And then on
clearly
turn
looking for
2
second consign or something like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
like
know.
with a mana up, and looking for something else. And instead of playing out my second amulet, the first one got spell pierced. So
Right.
instead of playing out second amulet, instead of like going for graze or something, I just play bog from hand
Oh.
and just clear his yard, and there's no way he can get delirium.
Yep.
And then just go like pass turn a couple times until eventually he just has to cast a slick shot to try to kill me, and I just untap and kill.
Heads up. Yeah, that's a good heads up play. I like it.
Played it really, really slowly and got rewarded.
Wow.
So that was locked for top 8. Quarterfinals game is against Grixis Frog.
Oh, okay.
Grixis Midrange, which is a deck that I was not expecting to see.
What's the
His
red
build was
for in their
really
deck?
interesting. He was playing 4
Losing.
Unholy Heats
Oh.
main deck.
Oh.
Are
And
they
then
on Bobble too?
Sideboard Meltdown.
It's honestly like upside when they add red to their deck.
Yeah, but
I
I was
find.
not expecting to see this list. He was playing like you can pull up the list actually. He's playing 3 Kaito,
Mm-hmm.
Riddlers. Oh, he's also playing Ragavan. That's the other thing that he's playing. If you look, it's the Alvaro, the 8th place
Oh, I see.
mid-range list. Super, super interesting list. Really nice guy. Came up from moved to Canada from Brazil a couple of years ago. This was like his 3rd or 4th big event, and top 8. He's going to the Pro Tour. I'm really happy for him. Really cool list.
Playing 61 as well.
Yeah, no, like everything about this list I loved. It was super, super spicy. Game 1, end up getting there with Saga Construct.
Mm-hmm.
We fight over a lot of spells, and I just make like 4 constructs and kill him. And then game 2, I try to cast spells, which was a mistake.
Yep.
Get like double counterspelled, forced, and then he just has a frog that goes the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And then game 3, also win on the back of constructs, but really, really slow. I have a Vexing Bubble on turn 1 into construct plan, so he basically just has to keep mana up.
Yeah.
There was a really interesting spot where he plays a frog with 2 mana up, 7 cards in hand, and I dismember it on his turn. And
Okay.
he's humming and hawing and sitting there. Do I pitch 4 cards to discard to like save my frog? And he ends up not and letting the frog go. And I
Ooh.
think it was a really good play on him.
Okay.
Because I had 2nd dismember.
Yeah. That blows out
if,
opponents so hard. It's so funny every time.
and
Yeah,
if he
I've
had,
blown out a lot of frog players with that.
if he had pitched his hand and I dismember again and he counterspells it, I untap and Titan with a bobble in play.
Was your opponent ever able to land a Kaito on you?
They did, and then died like very quickly after.
Okay.
They landed it off a Tameo, which I had blocked with a Grazer for 4 turns to make sure it didn't happen.
Yep.
And then I don't remember what happened. I think he had strategic betrayed me. I sacked the Grazer instead of one of the constructs. He attacked, he Kaito'd, tapped my construct, put a stun counter on it, and then I untapped, played floated 3 off Lotus Field, made a construct, and then played Hanwar Battlements, hasted it, and attacked for lethal.
Very nice.
And then he showed me his hand after the game, and it was like counterspell, counterspell, force, subtlety, 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 or something.
What?
Like his entire hand was juiced, but I had like 4 constructs in play, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
And I'm just begging he doesn't find Meltdown because I would have lost that game.
So both
bad.
wins were from construct armies.
Yeah, just slow construct building, trying to get him to use important spells on stuff, and then winning with a bunch of fire.
I mean, Urza's Saga, best card in Modern, am I right?
Yeah, it's really good. And I think one of the reasons why I actually lost game 2 is I wasn't able to make constructs because I timed my sagas so that he couldn't play a Harbinger.
Right.
But in doing so, I couldn't make my construct.
Yeah.
So it was a super weird contention where, like, if he slams a Harbinger, it's really bad for me if I don't do it this way. But if he doesn't have a Harbinger and just has like a regular tempo plan, then I can't make enough constructs to get at it from under it. But overall, very enjoyable game.
Very cool.
Really fun. And then semifinals was a rematch against Aiden on Energy. Once again, I kill him game 1 by being 1 turn faster. I really like his list. It's really clean. He played very well. Not many notes.
Yep.
Game 2 is another spot where I fuck up on camera, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Where I kind of got in my head. So I have turn 1 Grazer, put in Bounce Land. He has turn 1 Guide of Souls. I have turn 2 Spelunking. And then he Thraben charms the Spelunking in response to the trigger. I put in a Crumbling Vestige and kill the Guide of Souls with Lithomantic Barrage.
Okay.
And then he untaps and plays Blood Moon on 3. And at this point in the game, my hand is Green Sun, Force of Vigor, I think Hanware,
Okay.
and a Beseiju.
No forest on field.
1 forest in play.
Oh, okay.
It's super weird because I don't have enough mana to go for anything. And if I force, I don't have a payoff.
Yeah.
And if I Beseiju, I don't have enough mana in play and I'm ramping him. And his build is playing 3 moons post-board. So we end up doing like a draw go for a couple turns where I'm trying to get enough mana in play or hand where I can kill the moon end step, untap, and Titan. Draw a Titan naturally, and then Green Sun for Analyst. With the hopes of being able to get some lands in the yard off the Analyst so that I can actually ramp into a Titan once I can answer the moon. And my mill is Amulet of Vigor, Lithomantic Barrage, Beseiju, after having a Beseiju in hand. And only 3 mana in play.
Yep.
So everything sucks.
Yep.
I play the Beseiju as my land for turn, still holding up the force. Past turn, we pass back a couple times. We're both missing. He's not missing land drops. I'm missing land drops. Every turn is kind of like a if I force here, then draw a land, I win the game. But if I force here and don't draw a land, I have nothing.
And you
And
played to get lucky, I assume. Like
I
you
kept
played your
not
outs.
drawing the land, so
Yeah.
I was saving the Force of Vigor.
Oh, I see.
Because he was playing triple moon, and if I force the first moon, then he just plays a second moon. I lose on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's definitely the kind of player who could just hold the moon.
Yeah.
So we get into a spot where he finally plays Voice of Victory with the moon in play and 3 mana available after that. I have the Force in hand. I have Force, Titan, Pact, Fire Spout with 5 lands in play. And I end up deciding not to force there because my thinking is I can Fire Spout on my turn. Oh, and importantly, I don't have red mana.
Oh. Okay.
So if I get rid of the moon, I don't have red mana for Fire Spout.
Yeah.
So I end up deciding not to force there because my thinking was if he just plays the voice, I force the moon. He plays second moon, I lose on the spot. He plays the voice, I force the moon. He plays like guide or something, and I just have a single amulet, single Titan line that doesn't get me anywhere.
Mhm.
Um, or just like play something else and hold something up, or like a Thraben Charm or something. Like it just gets super awkward. So I decide to wait, which I think in retrospect is a mistake. Um, go to my turn, and then he chants me on my upkeep.
Ah. Yep. I know that
And
feeling.
then I pass, and he goes guide Ragavan,
Okay.
double jumps the voice.
Yep. And that's a lethal swing, I assume.
It's not a lethal swing, but now I can't kill the voice or the blood moon.
Yep. Oh, that's brutal.
So just really bad. And then I end up losing the game after like 3 turns.
Yeah, I can feel the exact tune of that game. I've experienced that one several times.
Yeah, definitely gonna force in the future, and if they have second moon, I'll just eat shit.
Uh,
But I don't know if I was gonna win the game anyways. He had double chant.
yeah.
And then game 3, feeling a bit bad. Keep a little bit of a sketchy hand. It's very similar to the one I lost with on game 3 against him in Swiss, where I have Vestige, Amulet, Lotus Field, and then Shift, Titan, Pack. And I play out my Amulet, I play out my Vestige, and I can never find another land to get to 6. And he just has a very fast hand with a chant on the last turn before I die. So in retrospect, probably should have mulled that hand, but any land off the top is like a turn 3 win. And we play a lot of lands in our deck, so it seems like it was okay.
Yeah.
But maybe could have mulled that one.
Close matchup.
And that was the semifinals. So only lost to the Mirror, Simic Ritual, and then the same Boros player twice.
Oh yeah. Okay. Huh. Yeah, and Ritual and the Mirror is sort of out of your control, so really it was just Boros.
Yeah, it was just Boros, and then I definitely got lucky against the Storm player because I don't think I'm supposed to win that matchup.
Yeah.
On the draw, specifically.
Probably not. Okay, so Rick, what were your favorite cards from your deck list? What were the top performers from the day?
I think the top performers were probably Arboreal Grazer and Scapeshift. Grazer just came up so big in so many spots as just a good blocker, a good accelerant, getting the turn 2 stock up, getting the turn 2 spelunking, getting the extra land into play so the shift is now lethal. And then shift definitely won a lot of games. But
Yeah, Grazer just makes the deck so smooth.
it's just such a good lubricant for this kind of list.
Grazer is the butter, and
Grazer
the
is
rest
the
of the
butter.
deck is the bread. It isn't very good without the butter.
It
If you're
definitely
making
isn't.
toast, that is, but yeah. Let's see. Sideboard options. What were your best sideboard cards in a lot of your matchups?
Really like the third stock up. Was not huge on the fourth one. And Minstrel also kind of overperformed. There was a couple games where my opponent was able to answer the amulet, answer the spelunking, and then I just slam a Minstrel and go off from there.
Okay, were there games where like slamming another amulet or spelunking would have still lost to what they had?
Slamming a spelunking probably would have won, but an amulet no, because they had the consign.
Okay, so the minstrel did have some nice utility there.
Definitely
I've
has some
heard good
utility.
things about that one. I
Yeah,
haven't
and
played it a ton myself, so excited to try it out.
I got it off of Green Sun quite a few times.
Yeah, that's why people are interested in these sideboard bullets too. Like just because of 4 green suns makes it so you have quote unquote 5 copies of a card in your deck when you put it
Oh,
in.
it's really nice. And the other
Yeah.
thing that I
Are there
don't see
any
a lot of
green suns
people,
bullets that you're excited to try out soon?
not really try out like I haven't played them before, but I think I would add 6 back. Um, I think there was a couple games where like the board state was a bit slow. I didn't have enough mana to get an Ice Till, but I could get a 6. and then just it blocking most aggro, swinging for card advantage, rebuying stuff would have come up. So I think in future I definitely
Yeah.
would play the 6.
The difference between 4 and 5 mana on that GSZ for the 6
It's
is
a big
pretty
difference.
meaningful. And 6 grinds better than Ice Till in a lot of matchups, in my opinion.
I think they grind pretty similarly, to be honest.
They
Especially
are
when like,
they're both pretty nice. If Saga grinding is really good, then the Ice Till is just top tier.
but also just Ice Till digs so many cards, and
Yeah,
even if you're milling
it
over
does. It
payoffs, it'll dig for Cave or it'll dig for Shifting Woodlands to copy your payoffs.
True. Yeah.
I have
Like
a
they both dig really hard.
I wanted to talk about like sideboard stock ups for a second. So other lists had, 2 value creatures rather than the 2 stock ups, they would have like tracker and 6. Do you feel like there can be a comparison drawn between, the 2 stock ups on the side and the tracker and the 6 on the side, like sort of equal comparison, or do they operate on different axes? Like, what's your sort of theory behind that? Because I can't really describe it well in my words. So I'm wondering if you.
Sure. I think they accomplish a similar task of giving you something to play on your intermediary turns before playing your payoffs. The big difference is that the the 6 and the tracker fight on board and force your opponent to interact with them, while stock up makes your quote unquote combo turn stronger.
Yep.
So it kind of depends if you're trying to like, because like if your opponent is sitting there with a bunch of removal spells and a couple like counter spells, casting stock up feels insane. But if they have like March ending and then like a Solitude or something, casting your mid range creatures just never get there. So I think they kind of operate on similar axes, but they kind of behave a bit differently.
The other thing I think is stock up is Scapeshift's best friend. Like if
I
you
would agree with that.
are the type of player that cuts Scapeshift in every matchup where you're slightly scared of interaction, you might not be stock up might not be your favorite card. But if you are a Scapeshift diehard, you'll leave it in against random stuff. Being able to stock up for the Scapeshift pieces feels really good, because stocking up for like Titan or build up to Titan is usually kind of slow. Like it's just a little slow. You probably could have ramped, the stock up was fighting with some of the ramp pieces.
Yeah.
So it's operating more on the Scapeshift win the game unfairly axis than the ramp slowly to Titan axis.
I could agree with that. I think that the best stock ups of the night, like of the day rather, were stock ups that found like shift plus second stock up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just kind of replenish your hand, naturally play your land drops against decks that aren't threatening to kill you very quickly, and then just have a turn where you just go like play Spelunking, they interact, play Scapeshift, they interact, play Scapeshift, they die.
Any
Or
other
do it on like 2 separate turns.
Any other notes on your RC before we move on?
No, I don't think so. I think I played about as well as I could. I only really have regrets about the Boros games. But if I had won the game in Swiss, who knows what the other games would have been like if I get to the same position. And then I think if I do force a Vigor on the Blood Moon, I'm not even entirely sure if I win. Just because they still had a really fast clock with double chant. So it would have been really tight. But pretty happy overall with my performance. Definitely had to get lucky to do as well as I did. Did get lucky and played my best. And that's all we can hope for.
Very nice.
And now I got to prep standard for Virginia.
Yep.
Find somewhere to stay.
Okay, we'll talk about that at the end about like deck lists and stuff, because I've been really interested in that.
Sure.
Real quick, I was going to go over my RC because I said I'd do that in the last podcast. I mean, not a ton to talk about. Trip was awesome. Man, I saw so many friends. That was like the RC that, all my friends from my old home state were like, yep, we're all going to go to this. So really great to see everyone and have a lot of fun. Get to the event center. I think my issue is I don't play very well in the morning. Like if I wake up early, I'm not cut out to play very well. I'll play great in the afternoon or the evening, but man, the morning is is brutal sometimes. And I'll make misplays. But let's see. I play against Boros. It was really quick, unfair almost. And then I have the curse of playing against Ruby Storm every round 2 ever of every tournament I go to.
That sucks.
I win the first game. It was really quite crazy. Game 1 is the type of game where the Ruby player will cast like a exile 2 cards on their turn 2, and I'm like, all right, that's pretty good. And I was just able to pull it off on turn 4 or something ridiculous. And then game 2, quick Ruby kill, nothing I can do. Game 3, I'm feeling so good. My opponent's whiffed. They have like 2 cards, one or 2 cards in hand, and I am able to cast a single Amulet Titan, which I find this cool line where I can Boseiju so they have a Ral. I can't remember if they draw the Ral or they have it. No, they don't have a Ral. They just have a giant graveyard and a artist talent on the field. I think the artist talent wasn't leveled up, but they have a bunch of mana. So I'm like, well, how can I produce the most value this turn? Because I need to pressure them in such a way that I'll actually kill them on the following turn. So I want to be able to copy a Titan is one of my goals. I want to be able to Boseiju the artist talent is another one of my goals. And then I want to hold up Cave for Bog is my third goal. And I find this like crazy weird sequence where I'm able to do all 3 of those things. It does mean that I can't hold up the Boseiju. No, I can hold up the Boseiju until the draw step. So I Boseiju on draw step, and also am able to copy the Titan, swing with the first, and then have 2 Titans back, and then hold up Cave Bog. My opponent casts Ral, then Past in Flames out of their hand, and at this point, I crack Cave for Bog. Whole graveyard goes away, but still has Past in Flames in yard, and like 1 card. The 1 card is like some wildly good card that somehow gets them to 20 off the round. I'm like, okay, very nice. It was like
Glimpse or something, or
yeah, I believe it was a Glimpse or Metamorphose into Glimpse or something like that. Just some very solid sequence that I was hoping didn't happen. I think they had like 1 other card in exile that they were using to win. So I think there was no real line to win because going to get Otawara to bounce the Ral wasn't going to work. Anyway, Ruby, what can you do? So feeling like a little tiny bit down, but then I go play against Affinity. And I don't think is it Affinity actually? I think it was the one with the...
Was it the Legends file?
Hold on. Was it that? Let me pull up the
just
checklist. There we go. This one, yeah, had the Arcbound Ravager.
All the well-performing lists over the entire weekend in all events were ones playing 3 to 4 Ravager.
Yeah. So this wasn't the Grixis one, but it was Ravager.
This is also playing Aether Grid.
And I think it had no Metallic Rebukes. Still, regardless of the Metallic Rebukes, close game. Lands a game with Magus and Ashiok that I'm just like, yep.
It was scary.
Game 3, it's like Moon, and I think I have to kill an Ashiok as well to win the game. So I see Ashiok in both games, but managed to beat it. I don't think this one was the Litho. I just had a Titan on board and swung at the Ashiok, and it worked out.
Okay. Because I was noticing that a lot of the lists that were doing well at the events were playing Rebukes in the sideboard.
Yeah. I played against...
great if you're playing Titan, but not great if you're not.
Esper Gorios, that was really difficult, very hard fought. My opponent basically got really unlucky to not win that one. Like, did not draw a Gorios in 20 cards or something game 1, and I managed to pull it off because they had great interaction the whole time. Mid-range, I can't even remember this mid-range match, but I guess I won, so very happy about that. No, Luke won. I don't remember what happened here, to be honest. Let's see, let me oh. This Esper mid-range deck is playing 3 Wanchin Tongue Librarians, and I had 3 Sagas in my hand. So every search was required. You can't choose to not search off the saga. So I'm just letting my opponent draw an absurd amount of cards while I'm trying to figure out how to win. And like my whole hand is searchables. I'm like on packs and scape shifts, and there was just nothing I could do to get through all of this during my games. I'm actually surprised I won a game. That's crazy. I think it was with constructs. I believe I was able to win one game with constructs, but I mean, it just the launch times get so big so fast that you have to like present a threat, and I was not able to effectively present a threat against this Esper midrange deck. Jeskai Blink. This one was, so I'm getting unlucky this whole tournament. Like I think it was either all 6 or 7 matches where I just don't or where I'm on the draw. So I think every single match on the draw. In addition though, all my hands are garbage. Like I can win games on the draw, but I think I was mulling on average to something like 4.8 cards. That was like my average situation, or at least that's what it felt like. I'm sure it was a little higher than that, but oh my gosh, I just could not find good hands to save my life. You know, stuff I was mulling early on was like a hand with like 5 lands, a Spelunking, and a Titan. Like, this is not going to win, especially not on the draw. Like, it's just way too slow. And it just kept being hands like that, or just absolutely terrible hands. So anyway, I felt the variant strongly. I guess Vegas is not my place for luck, but
it's a good place to be lucky, so that sucks.
Yeah, I will not be attempting to gamble there ever. And then Zoo, I managed to beat. Why did I drop at this point? I'm confused.
It doesn't say you beat them. It says you lost to Zoo here.
There we go. I am having a hard time reading. Zoo was, I couldn't draw land in either game. I think I kept 2 or 3 lands for both games. I just couldn't hit anything. Pretty reasonable hands. Still mults to 5, but yeah. So difficult RC, but in terms of other stuff, like I was able to 5-0 a RCQ, LCQ the day before, which means I get to go play Standard in Portland, so I'm excited to do that. 5-0 was really fun. Just the deck actually behaved and wasn't terrible for me, like it was for the RC. But I mean, this is how it goes sometimes. It's like you shoot a bullet in a challenge, whatever, and you have challenges where you just can't get through. And this is sort of what happened during the RC. Is like I had all the prep, I was all ready, and I shoot the bullet, and it's just luck will get you sometimes, And I'm sure that there was, especially in this Zoo match. Another aspect of the Zoo match is my opponent maybe took 40 minutes of the clock, and I took 12 during the course of this game. My opponent didn't know what the card consigned to memory did, so attempted to consign activations and stuff. Didn't understand any of the cards out of Amulet, not a single one. So anytime I'm like playing a land, he'll look at it, then tank for like 3 minutes, then continue. Sideboarding, I was like, man, we have to get on this, very really ridiculous situation where I had plenty, I think I had lands available to me, I just didn't have time to really think about them, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so,
definitely something that happens when the clock starts getting low at paper events.
Yeah, and when you start getting closer to the 3-3 bracket, somebody that clearly plays some other format, and I feel kind of bad, but like, come on, man, you're gonna time me out of the RC. I would prefer if you didn't. So that was my experience. It was really good. Since then, I've had much more fun with Titan with a couple things. But
yeah, I've been looking at your Badger Mole Cub list. They're very interesting because I've been jamming that card in Standard, and it's been really nice in Standard. And I was very much considering playing one in the sideboard for the RC, but I decided that I didn't want to play any card I hadn't tested. So I just decided against registering any for the RC. But I think 1 off Green Sun is fine. I know your list is playing like you were playing a bunch more, but that might just been for testing and just kind of a meme. But the card is very good.
Yeah. So initially, I have this other build where I'm like, all right, I like Nathan's list, or I like aspects of Nathan's list. I'm going to add 6 in Tireless Tracker and cut like a Force of Vigor and something else. I don't remember what it was. And I added the Oof as well. I think it was the Lithomanthix that I cut. I was just like, yeah, I guess I'm not going to need them anymore. People aren't overly obsessing about Titan. Another thing,
I do think Lithomantic is the kind of card that like will wax and wane in popularity depending on how popular Ashiok is.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think I would have played it if people weren't playing 3 Ashiok.
I don't think Ashiok will ever be as prevalent as it was at this tournament. And notably, Nathan, who won, did not see a single one. So.
I think I faced 3 total. Like it was way less than I expected to face.
Right.
Because in testing, like they just have it every time on like turn 3 or turn 4.
Exactly.
But it's hard to do that in a big event. There's nerves, there's like mulligans, you're not playing as high a sample size as you are in testing, so
yeah.
You definitely hit both ends of variance.
I cut oh shit.
Oh, sorry. Let me mute that.
I cut 1 stock up for an Explorer. And the other Explorer, I cut a land for it, so I think I just cut one of the bounce lands. And did pretty well with this deck list. I went 5-0. I've been trying to play challenges, but all the 64s aren't firing whatsoever. So every time I try and do a challenge instead, I just get redirected to a league. And I was able to 5-0 a league with this, which was really fun. Well, first I 4-1'd with this deck list.
Sorry about that.
With the Explorers. and I had trophied earlier with 2 Explorers in a earlier season. So I go 4-1 and then I go 5-0 with this. And I'm like, all right, this list is pretty good. Let's start putting bad cards in our decks so I just start losing because I feel like I'm winning too much. So I start a stream where I'm like, all right, we're going to attempt to put 3 Badger Moles in the main board. 3 Badger Mole Cubs. Which is mostly at the time like a meme, like, oh, I'm just going to play a ton of them, see what it does. So for this, I cut the stock up in the 2 Explorers and a Green Sun so I can add another Forest. Because I feel like Forest being able to cast Badger Mole is super important. Like if you lead on Saga, you want a green land to be able to play the Badger Mole and activate on the Saga so you can get the Saga to return. So I'm like, all right, I want a Forest here. We'll make it work like that. And I joined a league, and I played a league. I just win like every single match randomly, and okay, pretty good. Badger Mole was a card that I was happy to see in hand all of the time during that league. I even played against like a couple of pretty hard matchups. I think there was like a frog or 2 in there. And especially against Boros, Badger Mole just went insane. Being able to block Ragavan, making it hard for them to, kill lands, kill anything really, swing with any of their creatures. Badger Mole has just been super cool there. And what I'll say about Badger Mole is it enables a lot of weird sequence. And if I'm talking too much, feel free to butt in and talk about what you think about the card. But Badger Mole will enable a bunch of weird corner cases and weird sequences that you wouldn't normally think about. So a couple of those, for example, are Lotus Field Stranded in hand, which, I mean, happens way more often than I felt like I was giving it credit for. Like, that's a quote-unquote...
I definitely had at least 2 games at the RC that I lost because the Lotus Field was not a bounce.
Like, it's so prevalent that I'd forgotten that this was even a problem. I'm just like, yeah, my Lotus Field's stuck in hand, like, what else can you do about it? But when I'm playing these games, it all of a sudden becomes, like, upside, because let's say on an earlier turn, you animated a Gruul Turf or a Vestige or something, right? You play the Lotus Field, get 3 mana, sack the Lotus plus the Vestige, which you tap the Vestige for mana, so 4/5.
Well, for 2 mana, yeah.
Yeah. Return the Vestige, 6/7, and now you can Green Sun's X equals 6 after having only one land in play and a Lotus. You know, like that's crazy. It really was crazy.
The thing that I look at Badger Mole and I think that like this is a niche scenario that would actually come up a decent amount of time is Badger Moling on a bounce land and then scape shifting.
Mm-hmm.
So the bounce comes back and picks up the T-West, so you can get a different land as your last one.
And it enables a 3-land scape
mana.
shift off of that.
Yeah.
And pays for 2 of the 4 mana for that scape shift.
Pays for 3 of the 4 mana if it's a bounce.
If it's a bounce, yeah. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Card is cracked. Crazy. Cracked with Dryad Arbor as well. So you sort of want to be Green Sun's maxing. I just can't find other cuts. So it's like impossible. Because Scape Shift is super strong here too. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm considering cutting Titan, which is doesn't make me feel great. But yeah, so the thing with Badgermole though is Badgermole loves Badgermole. So
yes,
if you
work so well in duplicates.
Yeah, if you are able to, let's say, turn 1 Grazer in a land, turn 2, Badgermole your land drop, and then Badgermole again on another land, because you'll have enough mana for that.
Yeah, you untap with like 7 or 8 mana or something. It's completely ridiculous.
Yeah, with no amulet. So being able to to change those, like if you have 2 in hand, or if you have like Badgermole Green Suns in hand, it will make you 6 mana off of 2 basic forests, which is just absolutely nuts. Or if you have like Dryad Arbor, Badgermole, that's making you 4 mana off of 2 basic, or not really basic lands, but 2 dorks. So I've been liking it.
I've been jamming a lot in standard. It's been really good.
So currently,
different format, obviously,
Badgermole.
It's been really good.
Yeah, and it's been great in other formats. So currently, my record. So I had this Amulet Art list, right? I go 4-1 with this. My only loss is Young Dingo on some funny brew that I lose. And then I go 5-0 with this. And these are all in a row. And then I go 5-0 with Badgermole. And then 5-0 again with Badgermole with 0 game losses. So currently I'm 19-1 in terms of my league games in the last like 3 days. If only that could have been the RC experience, you know, would have been nice.
Yeah, we would have been interviewing Reed about his own win.
True.
So yeah, that's what I have to say on the subject. If anyone has, questions about it or something, I'll see if I can answer.
Let's see. How do I financially start saving enough money to buy Badgermole Cubs?
I can't help you with that because I won't be able to buy my own either.
I'm probably going to borrow them for Virginia. I know a friend who has a playset.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I need them after that, I'll find out. I still need to sell the promo from the event. And then once I do that, I should have enough to fund a standard deck. Or several, because the promos are unbelievably expensive for no reason.
Let's do just a tiny bit about standard, like what y'all are excited about this standard, what decks y'all playing.
Yeah, for sure. I've been jamming Teamer Otters. 2 or 3 different builds. One of them is big on Storm Splitter, and one of them is much more of a Flood Color build. Apart from that, I think Simic aggro is really good. There's a mono green aggro build that's also really strong, playing like Baloths and shit. And then I think Airbending is the other boogeyman of the format that will probably see a lot of play at Worlds. The deck is really good. It's quite resilient. It has a really good plan. It gets to make infinite. It feels very Nadu-esque in that sense.
I agree.
It feels like standard do.
It does get completely shut off by Torpor Orb, which is in standard. So if you are planning on beating it, just run a couple Torpor Orbs, and they just kind of don't do a lot.
So Teamer Otters, what? How much testing have you done?
I'll send you some lists. I've been playing this build, which is it was cheaper on wild cards, which is why I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send it in the chat. This is a Storm Splitter list. It's trying to like combo off with Cub Vitality Storm Splitter instead of Cub Vitality Valley Floodcaller.
Oh, I see.
It's felt very resilient. I think I'm 20-6 in games or so, and I'm not very good at the deck.
Okay.
And it
That's
has
pretty
the
good.
upside of just crashing arena. This deck just crashes arena.
Have you been
Like
playing best of 1 or best of 3?
best of 3.
Yeah.
So
I think
sometimes
best
you're
of 1 is
playing a
fake.
2v1 with Arena and your opponent.
Well, you never really you never need to crash arena. By the time you get to that point, the game is over. You're just kind of pushing the client.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last game that I was in the middle of before we started this, I have a screenshot with 255 Storm Splitter triggers on the stack,
Holy cow.
and Arena lagging out, my opponent conceding, and then conceding game 3 because their client just wouldn't respond. And that's very funny. Standouts for this list: Splash Portal is really good.
Oh.
It lets you go uh, turn 3 Vitality, turn 4 Storm Splitter, play Splash Portal, untap your Storm Splitter, make a second Storm Splitter, and draw a card. And then you get to play Esper Origins, make 2 copies, and then any 1 mana spell lets you go flashback the Esper Origins, and then stock up into
Yeah,
anything.
go crazy.
Hmm.
Changes I've made to this list: I've added in 3 Boomerang basics.
Okay.
Because once you have enough mana in play, Storm Chaser's Talent Boomerang basics draws your deck. You get to bounce the talent and replay it and level it, pick up the talent, play the talent, replay it, etc.
Yeah.
And Storm Splitter just makes that extremely mana positive.
That's sweet.
Do you feel like it's
You
win
do the
more, or is
same
it
thing. The card's just good.
It's just a
You do
good
have
card,
Boomerang
aggro
is
yeah.
very good in this standard.
You have aggro games where you just go turn 1 talent, turn 2 boomerang, play talent again, attack for 3.
Yeah.
And you just have a couple otters, and then your vitality on turn 3 now is mana neutral because you just make mana off the otters. It's felt really good. I've also added in a Nature's Rhythm,
Yeah.
which
That's
I was
reasonable.
very impressed with. I can pull up the exact list because that's the one that I based it off of, but not the one that I've currently been jamming.
Green Suns at home
Full-
is how it feels.
Oh, it's even better sometimes. It's double Green Suns.
Mm.
Are you tempted to play Thunder Trap in this deck at all?
The Flood Color build plays Thunder Trap. I
Okay.
think the Flood Color build is the better build. I think if I was going
Yeah.
to build any build, it's that one. Let me pull up a similar list. Hold on. Something like this.
Yeah, let me
This is
see.
one of the ones that I really liked that I was looking at.
That looks a little more
Um,
like stuff I've seen, yeah.
yeah, I just
Yeah,
don't
I've
have the
seen this
wild
one.
cards. I needed 30 wild cards for this deck, and I just did not have that. So I built one that was more mythic heavy and less rare heavy.
I love Song of Totem-Tans. Man, I love that
Oh,
card.
it's so insane.
So fun.
Let me
Get
pull
Out
this.
as well. That's so cool.
Get out.
I was trying to get out. I think I like having another Boomerang Basics over it for the most part.
Oh, really?
In
Okay.
testing, at least.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There's also one that this build doesn't do, but the other build does do that I really liked is that you can play Esper Origins, play the flip of Esper Origins, and then Boomerang Basics on the creature and replay it.
Okay.
So
I
it
don't
lets you
really,
go
to be
from
honest, I don't understand why
not a
Esper
lot of
Origins is good.
spells.
Let me read the card. Cerebral gain,
Yeah.
blah, 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 exile, put it onto the battlefield, transforms, which I'm assuming you're doing pretty much every time. The spell is cast.
It's 2 spells. That's the big
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
It's 2 spells for your Storm Splitter lines. It gains you life against aggro, and it digs for permanence.
Reveal top card, permanent, put it in your hand. Yep. Uh-huh. Oh, interesting.
And then it makes mana for next turn, and if you Boomerang Basics it, you get the spell back.
Yeah.
So Origins plus Boomerang Basics is 5 spell casts,
Okay.
and 5 triggers of Storm Splitter will kill any player.
Interesting.
just die.
So I'm trying to understand why it's 5. So you
So
cast
you play
Esper.
it.
Uh-huh.
You flash it back, it comes into play,
Right.
and then you Boomerang Basics the creature it becomes back to your hand.
And then recast
Then you
flashback.
replay Esper Origins, and then you reflash it back.
Wow. That's really cool.
I expect there to be some number of lists like this at Worlds. Probably more tuned than this list of the janky arena list.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like the premier combo decks will be Kona Omniscience, Bant Airbending,
Mm-hmm.
and then some version of Team Marauders.
I've been loving Bant Airbending. I
This is really good.
started.
It's definitely
I like randomly downloaded it after the RC because I was bored and just wanted to play some like arena on my phone. So I literally download the first 5-0 list that I see on the website, because at first I was gonna go Simic Aggro, and I sort of thought this was Simic Aggro, but like a weird version with some tempo or whatever. It is not that, but still was
No, it is very
extremely
much
powerful
the
when I started playing it.
Nadu list. It feels very Nadu-y.
Yeah, and I like lists like that just because it's just I like
You're
unfair
just playing good
plans.
cards.
Yeah,
You're playing
everything
good
is
cards
so
that turn into
solid.
a win.
And at
How
first
have
I
you
really
felt like the mid-range backup plan of that is?
For
well,
what
that's
it's
the
worth,
thing about it. I think
the
it's
Crater
so
Hoof
good.
isn't necessary.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it feels nice.
I don't like Crater Hoof in this build. The
324.
card that I was seeing a lot of people play over Crater Hoof is actually Imidane's Recruiter,
Yep, I agree with that one.
Oh.
which
I like
turns
Imidane
your
more.
combo into a win on the spot, but it's also just a good card in its own.
Well, let's look at Lilia's list because I think Lilia's been doing well.
You also
I've
don't.
also seen like allied Katara hybrids of the airbending combo.
I don't think those are that good.
They don't
Also,
look
you
great.
don't actually
but-
need the win con. Like you don't need the
you don't need to combo.
Well, I'm saying if you do combo, you can win the same turn anyways.
Mhm.
The way you do it is you flip a land off of what do you call it, the Bramble Familiar,
Sure.
and then you loop Badgermole Cubs to give it infinite power.
Oh, that makes
So
sense.
your land gets infinite power, and then
And
you
the
just
haste.
get to haste, and then you get to bounce all their stuff with
Only
like
available in paper.
Ang or something like that. No, I've had people do it on Arena too to get it to like 15 power or something.
Oh, okay.
It takes
yeah.
a while.
Takes a while. Can you flip multiple lands?
You can flip one land per familiar, but you can play familiar any number of times
Yeah.
until you mill out. So
I really like this list a lot. I didn't even understand the combo when I first started playing it, but I would just win every game with the mid-range plan because I actually hadn't realized that Aang Appa was a combo with the Doc Orlok out.
With Doc, yeah.
Like I had not like put that through my head yet, which is actually hilarious. So I was just winning random mid-range games with this deck without ever realizing I needed to combo.
No,
just because
it's definitely good.
the mid-range stuff, the big stuff is airbend your Bramble, cast any creature for 2 mana, basically. Like you're going to get Aang at the crossroads. Very, very powerful card. Would never cut this from the list. Appa feels weak a lot of the time if it's just on its own, but like with any combination of other cards, very beautiful card. Even making their stuff cost 2 extra after you plot it / airbend it, like making it cost 4 when you airbend something, super nice. And honestly, I feel like maybe in the future list might cut down on Doc Orlocks. Definitely feels
I
like
see them going to like 2 or 3 instead of the full 4.
Feels like one of the weaker cards in the deck, but still really
I've
nice to
seen a
enable
lot of lists
combo.
with 3.
And at first I really was against Gene Pollinator. I'm like, why am I playing this terrible card in my deck?
You just need the mana.
You have horrible mana in this deck, like truly atrocious. Soon Temple Garden will be in the format, but like for the moment, and I guess Hallowed Fountain, for the moment, the mana is brutal, and you need multiversal passages, which are like impossible to get on MTGO there.
We're getting Steam Vents too, right?
I believe so. Would we Imidane, I guess?
Invents is entering the format.
Yeah, because that makes all the teamer decks also more reliable. I don't have to play as many starting towns and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean,
the
obviously you
version-
still want to play
mana
Storm
base is
Town, one of the
good.
best cards ever, but
Yeah, is Blood Crypt relevant for any top decks right now?
Not currently, but you never know what happens in Lorwyn, right? Like a single
True.
set like Avatar shifted the meta so much, and Lorwyn might
Yeah,
do the
we
same.
might have a full-on fairies deck after this next set.
Yeah, the decks we see at Worlds might not be the same decks we see at the Pro Tour.
Riddler
Could shift dramatically.
is always insane in this list every time I have it, or top deck it.
Yeah.
Because you're dumping your hand pretty quickly, or putting your
With
hand
the
in
amount of mana
exile.
dorks you have, like
Badgermole very much needs to be in this deck. If you're cutting it, I like
no.
this is a
card
beautiful
too good.
mid-range / acceleration plan. I would never cut that. But I would be happy to cut Gene Pollinator at some point. Though it is fun with Badgermole to have the Gene Pollinator out and just make a ton of mana.
the Otter's plan of like Badgermole plus Vitality is just so absurd.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would often untap on turn 3 or 4 with enough mana to hardcast Emrakul. Like 15 or 16 mana just available,
Dang.
which is just not okay. Like, enough mana to go Nature's Rhythm for Storm Splitter, flashback Nature's Rhythm for second, like for Quantum Riddler or something.
I'll say Nature's Rhythm is kind of hard to cast in this deck. Like, I haven't been liking this card that much. And I know some people have been cutting down to 1, which I think is pretty reasonable. Like, you draw it once during the game at max, and you'd find the combo piece you need. I like it for that application, but I never want to run more than 2 rhythms. And Airbender Ascension is so strong for what it does. Just airbend any creature, can also start off the combo for you with the Appa. Like, you.
And then end step, you get to just flicker stuff for extra value. Like,
And
it's very strong.
Flickering Aang at the crossroads, I mean, really, really strong.
It only airbends creatures, right? It doesn't airbend anything else? Or does it airbend any
airbend one target creature, yeah.
Creature, okay.
That'd be a little too powerful, I think. And a lot of the time with this deck, you end up like turn 3, you have 5 or 6 creatures that are able to block, so you're not too worried about aggro. In terms of control, like when they have board wipes, you can just Appa all your stuff into exile and then play it all on the following turn.
Yep. It's a very strong deck.
Very strong deck with some really complicated sequences to learn, but if you take your time to learn it, I feel like you'll really be heavily paid off.
Yeah. I've posted the list that I'm playing on Arena right now, which is kind of like a weird hybrid, slightly like less optimal than it should be because of wildcard slots missing, but this is what I've been playing to some success.
Yeah, really liking the Esper Origins, Boomerang Basics. Did not keep the Flood Moz, it seems, because probably Boomerang's taking over that role.
Yeah, Boomerang kind of does a similar role, and it's just much stronger when you're bouncing talent or like resetting some of your other stuff. Like the ability to go Cub, animate a land, Boomerang Basics on your Cub, animate another land as a mana positive play sometimes is just so strong.
Well, I think we had a really good podcast, and we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
For sure.
But excited for LCQs and upcoming standard tournaments. It's going to be really fun. Great to have you on the podcast, Rick. Appreciate all your input.
Absolutely.
And
thank you, Rick.
Yeah, for sure. Just want to finish up with my favorite thing that I got at RC Calgary. Was not the win, was not the promo. It was this set of tokens that I picked up an artist that was there.
Oh.
And I just needed to share these because they're my new favorite thing.
They are Kirby tokens that have like Primeval Titan horns. Yeah, absolutely amazing.
They're my new Titan token copies off Miracle.
That is awesome.
That's perfect.
All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys for listening, and peace.
Yeah.